A serpent of mercy in the wilderness. Long ago, when the Israelites were wandering in the desert after leaving Egypt, they faced a great danger. The people had grown impatient and started complaining against God and Moses. They grumbled, "Why have you brought us out of Egypt to die in this wilderness? There is no bread, no water, and we are tired of this miserable food." When the Israelites complained against God and Moses in the wilderness, God sent venomous snakes that bit and killed many. Realizing their sin, the people begged Moses to pray for them. In his mercy, God instructed Moses to make a bronze serpent and place it on a pole. Anyone who looked at it was healed instantly. This miraculous act became a symbol of God's mercy, showing that even in judgment, He provided a way of healing and hope. Generations passed and the Israelites settled in the Promised Land. The bronze serpent, which had once been a symbol of God's mercy, was carefully preserved as a reminder of that miraculous moment in the wilderness. But as time went by, the people forgot the true meaning of the serpent. Over the years, instead of remembering God's mercy, they began to treat the bronze serpent itself as an object of worship. They gave it a name, Nehushtan, and started burning incense to it. What was once a sign pointing toward God became an idol that drew people away from Him. The serpent that had brought healing now led the people into spiritual sickness. For centuries, Nehushtan stood as a silent witness to the slow drift of Israel's heart away from God. The people looked to a lifeless object for help instead of seeking the living God. They placed their trust in a piece of bronze, forgetting the one who had commanded it to be made in the first place. Then came King Hezekiah. He was unlike many of the kings before him. Hezekiah was a man who feared God and wanted to lead his people back to the true worship of the Lord. When Hezekiah became king of Judah, the land was filled with idols and false altars. The people had fallen deeply into sin, worshiping foreign gods and practicing idolatry. Hezekiah had a burning desire to cleanse the land and restore true worship. He commanded that all the high places, sacred stones, and Asherah poles be torn down. But then he came across something unexpected. Nehushtan, the bronze serpent that had once been a symbol of God's mercy. Hezekiah stood before it and his heart was troubled. He saw how the people had turned this sacred object into an idol. Though it was originally crafted under God's instruction, it had become a stumbling block. The people had taken something holy and twisted it into something sinful. Hezekiah knew what had to be done. Though it had been part of their history for generations, Hezekiah smashed the bronze serpent into pieces. He did not hesitate. He declared boldly, "It is just a piece of bronze." By destroying Nehushtan, Hezekiah made a powerful statement. He showed the people that no object, no matter how sacred, could replace God. His actions reminded them that worship belongs to God alone. Hezekiah's faith and courage led to a spiritual revival in Judah. The people's hearts were turned back to the Lord, and for a time, true worship was restored. The story of the bronze serpent is both inspiring and sobering. It reminds us that even something created by God's command can become dangerous if it takes the place of God in our hearts. The serpent, which once brought healing, became a symbol of idolatry, and it took the boldness of a faithful king to destroy it. In the end, Hezekiah's actions teach us that anything that distracts us from true worship must be removed, no matter how precious it may seem. For God alone deserves our worship, and anything that steals His glory must be cast aside.